Hello, Cubby. How are we all? It's been a while since I've been in here live. I'll just try and make myself a bit bigger. There I am. Says I'm now live. If you're there, make sure you say hello. And let me know how you're going in the cubby at the moment. Okay, so we've been talking tarot. I'll just check my sound because the last live I did, my headphones weren't plugged in properly, and there was no sound. Um, so if I don't want to do that to you today, okay, there I am. All good. All right. So let me know how you're going with talking tarot. How are you going with it? We have been through the whole major arcana. I've taken a photo of every card. I'm going to start getting them sorted out to the guides. So remember to go and check out the guides. You've got your whole 7 days more psychic free challenge in there. If you have any questions about that, you can pop them in there or message me or whatever, or make a post and I'll respond. And so then we've been doing the good tarot. So I've taken you through the whole major arcana. We've looked at cards, the major arcana. So that's by Colette Baron-Reid. There we go. Get the light off it. If you're unfamiliar with that at all, and you have questions about the deck, let me know. So gone through the whole major arcana. We've looked at the cards as a person, a situation, or a thing. So when you look at those cards, or I've done a journaling prompt, or we've said, if they were celebrities, what would they be, that kind of thing. So, and I'm encouraging you to read tarot intuitively and be playful, open, and curious with it, as I encourage you to do all things when you work with me. Let's make it fun. A lot of people steer away from tarot for a number of reasons, because of all the myths and the false things about tarot, and because of it was dire. I heard Radleigh Valentine interviewed by Yasmin Boland recently on her podcast, and they were talking about tarot. And Radleigh, one of his reasons for making a tarot deck was to bring tarot, from the Middle Ages and that medieval times into the modern era, because this is the problem that I have with tarot. This is why I always say I'm more hashtag, Team Oracle than Team Tarot. Let me know in the comments what you are. Because Oracle cards are beautiful and you can go and buy decks. I've just unboxed two of Tosha Silver's decks, the Wild Offering deck and her Divine Beloved deck. Go and check that out when I put them up on my YouTube channel. If you haven't visited that already, it's Kylie Savage Psychic on YouTube. I would love for you to like, comment, subscribe, all the things. But what Radleigh was saying is, I got the tarot deck. I got the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, which is the tarot deck that most people are introduced to tarot by, through and with, whatever. And then I got the deck and I did some practice readings with it. And I remember reading for this lady and I said, oh my God, I can't tell you what this card means. She said, no, go ahead and tell me. I said, well, what it's saying is you'll experience a job loss, or you've just experienced a job loss and you have to get ready to change careers and get into a new job, which I thought was pretty awful, to tell someone, like, if they haven't, lost their job, they're about to. And she said, yeah, I've just had my contract finished up, whatever, more or less just lost my job. I was like, wow, the the addictive quality tarot has is it's so bloody accurate. But, it's kind of dire. And you look at reverse cards, and people do, reverse cards and oracle decks. And Colette will say that if your cards come out upside down in the decks that do have decks that come out upside down, cards that come out upside down, read it in the reversed meaning, because it's a way to add more to your deck too. Like Wisdom of Oracle, I think there's 5 ways to read each card. So essential meaning, upright, in protection, prosperity, and relationship. That's right, 5. I always get confused. Which makes it a really complex deck. I much prefer Wisdom of the Oracle, and I'm going to do an unboxing on that actually. And they've just released the app on Hay House. No, sorry, Ocean View Media, I think it is, for Wisdom of the Oracle, which is amazing. I don't think it's ever been an app. So if you're really into digital decks, go and check that one out. But yeah, so the artwork on the Rider-Waite-Smith deck is, it's nasty. You got swords stabbing people, and you got people stuck outside in the rain, in the snow, outside a church, looking very forlorn. You've got scary devil figure. In Hollywood media, they always pick up on the death card, and everyone thinks it means an actual physical death, which it doesn't. And I really like the way in the Good Tarot, Colette has changed the cards. So death is transformation. She's changed knights to messengers. She's changed, instead of saying cups, swords. I'm really, really out of practice today with my life. Instead of saying cups, swords, wands, pentacles, she's changed them to the elements. And look, I want you to pull apart, because this is what I've been focusing on. There is a link between tarot and astrology. There is a link between the Kabbalah and tarot. Like, tarot is deep. It's a way of life. And you can look at it for you, progression from the Fool to the World. We're all on that spiritual journey through life. And that's why the major arcana is so interesting and so multi-layered and dimensional. And that's why the suits, flesh out the details of your reading. So if you get a reading with lots of major arcana cards, one, really give your cards a really good shuffle. Two, it means your client is going through lots of big themes in their life at that moment. So it's really good they've come to you for a reading at that point in time. But if they have lots of suits, do they have lots of swords in the reading? Is it mostly cups? What is this telling you about your client? Was this telling you about the situations in their life? But the thing is, those suits flesh out the details, the minutiae of daily life and whatever your client is going through at the time and why they came to see you. So the thing is, when you look at elements, if you just pick out one aspect of the tarot and you look at elements, that immediately connects you to astrology, because all the planets and signs are connected to the elements. So that can, if you've got a reading and there's lots of cups in it, you've got to think about water. And that adds another layer. Then you can look at numerology and things like that as well. Then you can look at archetypes, So what I've done with the suits is I've pulled them out to the elements. So I've got the king, the queen, the messenger or the knight, and the page. So 4 cards in each suit, which are called the court cards. And I'm looking at them in their elements. So we've just done water. And actually, why I looked at something interesting. People can number their cards differently in tarot. I don't think they're supposed to, but what they've done is, okay, so when you look at your tarot book, you always start with cups. Cups is the first, the suit of cups. Here you go. This book is fantastic too. It's Simply Tarot. It's by Leanna Greenaway. Leanna Greenaway. Okay, the suit of cups is the first suit of the minor arcana. These cards give the details that bring a reading to life. They fill the gaps and allow you to stretch your imagination, making each reading individual, so unique for your client. There are 56 cards discussed in the next 4 chapters, and they make up the 4 suits: cups, wands, swords, pentacles. The suit of cups is the nicest of the 4 suits. It's the feely suit. It focuses mainly on relationships and family matters, giving meanings to all types of situations. A number of cups gives a positive slant to a spread of cards and often brings lighter aspects to a sad or harsh reading. Okay, and you start with the Ace of the Cups, but I noticed too, she's got number 23. Ace of Cups is 23, but the World is number 21. But there is 22 cards because the Fool is technically 0, but it's not. With the Magician is card number 1, but then you've got the Fool, so it's actually 23 cards in the major arcana. But then I looked at it and I was like, okay, we go from number card 23 to 2 of Cups. She's got card number 14 written there. So I was a bit confused about that. And then we go to 25, 3 of Cups, and then it follows through 26, 27, all the rest of it. So yeah, I don't know about that. I only just noticed. Isn't that terrible? Because I haven't studied tarot as in-depthly as I have studied oracles. and oracle card decks. Anyway, going back to what Colette's done. So Colette switched up the suits, and why she did it was she went to air first. Air was with the mind. She said, "As you think, so shall you be." This is page 27 of her guidebook. In traditional tarot, this suit is called Swords, as the suit where the most conflict, tension, chaos, and destructive energy seems to be represented. In the good tarot, we relate the suit of air to the way we think, the results of that thinking, and where our thoughts could lead us. Therefore, in this deck, the air suit represents the mind, our thoughts, our attitudes, and our subconscious. We're asked to remember that our thoughts are like powerful seeds. What seeds will we plant? What perspective, what thoughts will we rehearse? What perspective do we take for the highest good of all? If we are intelligent creatures, how best can we use our minds to align with the highest good and the best outcome? How can we find value in our suffering as we shift from reactive and victimized to be response able? Can we find freedom through radical acceptance and the right use of reason and intellect? That answer is yes, if you're willing to allow the suit of air to reveal the deep truths of your mind. Here are the cards that make up the suit of air. They're simple meanings, they're core questions and affirmations. Remember, Colette does affirmations instead of traditional meanings. So you've got page of air, and then you've got something underneath it like an essential meaning almost. New ideas, a theory not proven, curiosity, new focus. She said that she's done so she's starting with the mind, then she works through to fire, so thoughts into action, then she goes into feelings, and then she goes into embodiment, which is earth. So making your thoughts, the actions you take, how you feel about that, how the vibration of it into material manifestation or physical manifestation. So I like the cycle that Colette's built in there, and it's very different. And I've had that deck for ages and never known that about it. So I've really enjoyed going into the tarot because, like, if you do, say, a 4-card reading and then you pull a tarot card, and you do a torrical reading, what it does is it just adds an extra layer of depth and weight to your reading, and it gives your client more information and more of a flavoring and coloring to the whole reading. It gives them, and if you want to pull the tarot card first, then that will be your anchor card, and then you put your oracle cards around it, and then sort of even if you pulled your next oracle card, that would sort of be your co-anchor card. You could make it that way. You can be really creative and have fun with these things and be playful. All right, do let me know if anyone's there live. Cannot see anybody. But let me know if this is making sense or if I'm just waffling all over the place. But I thought that was interesting. Okay, so King of Air. I'm going to look at King of Air first. And what I wanted to think of was who would be a person who would represent the qualities of the King of Air. And I thought Tom Hiddleston, the actor, he plays Loki. He's been in lots of things, but he's well known for Loki and the Thor movies and his own Marvel series. Denzel Washington, I thought, was another actor. Tony Blair, former British PM. As a situation, it's fast, decisive, intelligent action, a takeover or acquisition, financial ideas. Some of them might be quite business minded and financially minded. As a thing, King of Air as a thing it would be something like that, like a merger or acquisition. To me, it's something that happens quickly, but there's a lot of thought in behind it, but it has to be done quickly. It would be a promotion, possibly. What else would King of Air be? So it's about leadership, it's about the intellect, it's about making a decision, a ruling. Yeah, so a quick, intelligent decision. Pros and cons list could be King of Air. But let me know, what do you think? So who is King of Air? Like, who kind of symbolizes or represents King of Air as a person? What would it be as a situation? Could be even something like an equitable, what do you say, civil divorce, a separation. It's something that it's kind of got to be done. It gets done fast. Could even be, I wouldn't say a marriage. I feel like more like it's a divorce or separation. People making an intelligent decision, but it's kind of almost passionless. Or court ruling, a court decision, something handed down by the High Court and something that's done quickly and decisively. You could say the whole Roe versus Wade being overturned, that was a king of air kind of thing. It was thought out, but it was done fast. And those Supreme Court judges didn't apologize for their decision. They just made it. And it's had, a ripple effect. So King of Air is powerful. They're really a powerful figure. So as a situation, yeah, and as a thing. So a decision, a divorce, a merger, an acquisition, fast buying of property too. Like some places, in Australia we have 21 days cooling off period, but someone who just sees a house, wants to buy it, that's it. Thinks about a really good way to make the offer, like really good offer. It does imply thought, but it's fast thought and fast action because it's the element of air. Some other things I found out about air. I brought out my witchy book, so Kate West's The Real Witch's Handbook. What does she say? Air. Air is. Oh, did I put a thing in it? I think that I did. All my books have post-it notes stuck everywhere. Okay, air. Air is associated with spring, morning, the direction of east, the color yellow. Yellow is very much the color of the intellect and optimism and joy. The air we breathe, the winds around us, youth and new beginnings, our thoughts. One of the reasons why, when calling upon the elements, we start with air is because thought should always take place before action, which mirrors what Colette has done in her deck. So I thought that was really interesting. But yeah, let me know what you think. So we have in the court of air, we'll have the king. So we'll look at him. Then we have the queen. There she is, isn't she lovely, with Colette's favourite, the owl, the big snowy owl. The knight of air, or the messenger, and they're all female, whereas in the Rider Smith Waite deck, they're all male. And page of air. I love that. So the artwork is amazing. And we've got feathers. Feathers are really symbolizing air. So, he has a bird mask, all that sort of thing. So birds, the symbology of birds connecting with higher wisdom, higher thoughts, divinity. Yeah, and feathers, light, fast, floating, to do with being airborne. I love it. Let me know what you think and how you're going with this. And I really would love your questions about tarot. I want to put together a conversations with Kylie, and I want to talk all about tarot, my understandings about tarot and oracles, how to get the best out of your tarot card decks, that sort of thing. And I'd love to hear your questions. So just think, there's no silly question. When you do ask something, then the answers will come from me or from life. It will respond to you, and you'll be helping others as well. Some people have probably denied about buying a tarot deck. When I bought my first one, Spirit were encouraging me to buy a tarot deck, and then I went and got it. And I remember the shop that I bought it from, my good friend Anna. She's like, "Really, Kylie, you want tarot?" Because she wasn't really into them. I mean, she ended up having her own journey with oracle cards down the track. But I was like, "Yeah, Spirit is saying yes, so go for it." And I got them. As she said, and pretty much scared myself with them. And now, I'm coming all the way back. But I think I'm doing that because of the good tarot. So share your questions, share your tarot decks. I'd love to see them. And let's see some readings in the cubby. I'd really like you to start posting your readings and do that offering of free readings so you can get some feedback. And if you want my feedback, just tag me in the reading or send me a message and I'll do that. I trust you're having a beautiful Saturday. I trust it's sunny wherever you are. I thank you also for doing the member spotlights, for having a bit of fun with that. That is great to see. And I'll see you again this week in the cubby. See ya.